Hello everyone, back to you today's second video. We're going to do Ensembles Watch for today's second video. So we're going to go through all individual members of the GFS Ensembles. There's 20 of them to go through. 21 with the operational, 22 with the parallel GFS. So going to be here for a little while. We're going to go through all GFS Ensemble members to see what they're all showing for the next few days, and also in the extended range, which takes us the very end of the GFS run today is up to Christmas Day. So we're going to run from kind of like Wednesday, Thursday, middle part of the week, and go right way through to Christmas Day with all members of the GFS Ensembles. See if we can get a handle on what they're currently showing as we lead up to and get to Christmas. So, day's first video released earlier on this afternoon had a look at the weather for next week to 10 days. Still a lot of uncertainty in terms of this Scandinavian high and easterly winds versus the low pressure in the Atlantic. We're going to have a battle in the next few days. Obviously, we'll cover it on Ensembles Watch as well. Which air mass gets the ascendancy is a little bit uncertain. But have a look at today's first video to see what's going on. There's a big stratospheric warming across Siberia by Christmas as well on the parallel GFS run this morning. That's all covered by the by today's first video. So that video is here on the homepage. You can find it above the snow desk. So have a look at that and see what's going on. So at westcentral.d, well, I'm going to go through all individual members of the GFS Ensembles right now. I'm going to start off with the operational run. So this is the highest resolution member of the GFS Ensembles. This is the main GFS run, if you like. So we're going to start off at 96 hours. Which is Thursday the 13th of December, with an area of high pressure over Scandinavia and low pressure out to the west of the country. This high pressure is blocking the progress of these areas of low pressure, so that's where the uncertainty is creeping in within the model output at the moment. Now, this is blocking a little bit more compared to the earlier GFS run that we used for today's first video update. So it has shifted tonight, the GFS, slightly more towards high pressure over Scandinavia, certainly through the middle part of the week. So let's run through and see what happens. We get another area of low pressure coming up against that high pressure as we get through to Friday. Again, that one is being blocked. Look, you can see it sliding away to the southwest of the country. So that might bring some sort of rain or snow situation to western parts of the country. We may do snow watch later in the week. It will depend. But don't get to around Tuesday. We should have a clearer idea, I would have thought, about this situation in the second half of the week, whether it might produce snow. Now, as we go through to weekend, it brings this next low pressure in, and that's proper wind and rain events sweeping in across the country as the high pressure then begins to slip back in towards the west of Russia. So we go into that wet and windy spell next weekend. Going into the extended range, though, running up towards day 10, we start to build high pressure to our east and north, so heights are rising to the northeast. These areas of low pressure are moving southwards along with the jet stream. That's how we look at day 10. Quite interesting. The jet stream is running down into Spain and Portugal. These low pressure singing southwards. All this high pressure is building to the north. So we start getting into a colder situation there. Then bring this area of low pressure up on the 21st of December. That could bring rain or snow across England and Wales running up towards Christmas. That could bring some quite heavy snow, I would have thought, to some parts of the country. And then as that clears away, as we go up towards Christmas, we start to build high pressure close to the country. That's how we look as we get to Christmas Day with the GFS midday operational run. We've got high pressure out to our west, low pressure to the east, and we're putting in a cold north or northeast wind. That will probably be bringing snow showers to northern and eastern parts of the country. So yes, there is cold weather here running up to and over Christmas on tonight's midday run of the operational GFS. So we go over to the control GFS run next. So this is at a slightly lower resolution compared to the operational, but it's at a higher resolution compared to all other ensemble members. Again, we're starting off on Thursday. High pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure is in the Atlantic. We've got this block against the weather front. So the weather front is a little bit further inland compared to the operational GFS run, but it is being blocked and it is stalling there across the country on Thursday. We get through to Friday, the next low pressure rattling through, that bringing a spell of proper wet and windy weather, maybe some snow on the leading edge. And then into next weekend, we bring this deep area of low pressure into west of Scotland, and that turns things genuinely wet and windy. Heading into the extended range and running up towards Christmas. Do we get any cold weather with this one? No, we build heights to the south with this one and pull up a very mild southwesterly wind as we run up to Christmas. That's how we look as we get to Christmas Day with the control run of the GFS. And it looks generally quite mild and westerly there, wet and windy weather in the north and west. No cold weather on the control GFS ensemble member. Right, this is ensemble member number 1, and we've got high pressure over Scandinavia. Low pressure is out west of the country on Thursday, and area of low pressure is across the south. So that could be bringing rain or snow, I would have thought, across England and Wales. Again, it would depend exactly on how much cold air we bring in, really, from the east, as whether that's rain or snow. Into the weekend, and it's turning mild, wet and windy, proper stormy weekend there with ensemble member number 1. Real gales next weekend battering the country. Let's start running further on ensemble member number 1, and we keep things pretty unsettled, wet and windy going up towards day 10, and then we go into the run up towards Christmas. And what's going to happen with this one? So low pressure is going to remain very close to us, keeping things generally quite mild, wet and windy going up to Christmas and getting to Christmas with ensemble member number 1. Ensemble member number 2 has high pressure over Scandinavia. Low pressure is out to the west of the country on Thursday. This low pressure being blocked. So we're in a pretty cold southeasterly type flow there. Let's see what happens as we get through to weekend. It turns properly wet and windy. All ensemble members so far are keen on very stormy spell of weather coming up this time next week. Into the extended range, what's going to happen? So we keep low pressure coming in off the Atlantic up to day 10, again looking really quite stormy. And then we're going into the run up towards Christmas. It looks like it's starting to build some heights towards the northeast again. So this one has high pressure taking over very close to the country as we're getting to Christmas. That's Christmas Eve, for example. High pressure is over the country. And signs there as we get to Christmas Day, although it is anticyclonic, but signs that we're raising heights over Greenland. So if we could run on another day or so, we'd probably drop down a very cold northerly wind there with ensemble member number 2. That one is hinting at the chance of a cold Christmas. This is ensemble member number 3. Again, high pressure over Scandinavia, blocking this low pressure in the Atlantic on Thursday. Now, eventually this low pressure does get in. Takes a little while to do it, not really until Saturday, but it manages to break through. And then we go into this stormy day on Sunday. Looks quite wild with winds on Sunday. Severe gales seem possible there. Moving up towards Christmas, so we keep things very unsettled. Low pressure is moving in off the Atlantic with ensemble member number 2. In fact, we're getting to Christmas Eve now, and it's still unsettled. The winds are still in from the west, so no particularly cold weather once the Atlantic breaks the Scandinavian high down. Next weekend, no particularly cold weather up to Christmas with that one. This ensemble member number 4. More dominant with the Atlantic, you'll notice with this one. The low pressure looks like it's closer to us, and the high pressure of Scandinavia is a little bit further back. So this one's breaking the Atlantic through quite quickly. Another low is running across the south, though, on Friday. Again, on the northern edge of that, you wouldn't rule out the chance of some snow. There's that gale force wind that all ensemble members seem to be going for, to varying degrees so far anyway, although we're only to ensemble member number 4, but so far all ensemble members going for a very stormy day next Sunday. Then we get through to the run up to Christmas, and we're keeping the winds from the west until this high pressure starts to build up from the southwest. So high pressure does start to take over with ensemble member number 4, but its position is generally to the south of the country, so that'll be a very mild Christmas day. It would be mainly dry away from the north of Scotland, but it'd be really mild. Temperatures would be into double digits there, I would have thought, with those southwesterly winds. This is ensemble member number 5, high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure out to the west as we go into Thursday. Again, a little bit closer with that low pressure to the west. Then we've got some sort of channel low appearing there for Friday. So heavy rain, possibly snow, and gale force easterly winds on the northern side of that. Again, it very much depend on the exact parameters within the atmosphere, how much cold air there is. There probably won't be that much cold air. That would probably, I would have thought, be primarily rain. Then we go into next weekend, wet and windy conditions, this area of low pressure out to the west of the country, breaking the Scandinavian high down. We're up to day 10, looking generally mild with west or southwesterly winds, and then we start running up towards Christmas, and this one keeps things pretty flat, so the wind remains from the west up to Christmas Day. Looks generally quite mild with ensemble member number 5. Ensemble member number 6, again, high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure is out in the Atlantic on Thursday. That low pressure is being blocked by the Scandinavian high until we get to next weekend, when it turns properly wet and windy over next weekend. And then we go into the extended range, still looking very unsettled up to day 10 with gale force winds running up towards Christmas. Low pressure continues to keep spiralling in from off the Atlantic, but we are turning the wind into the north there as we're getting to Christmas Eve. A little bit of this looks like a cold snap, wouldn't be sustained, but just turn a bit colder there with winds from the north for a time. By Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, it's starting to turn milder again with winds backing into the west. Ensemble member number 7 with the high pressure over Scandinavia, the low pressure out to the west on Thursday, blocking the progress of that low pressure. It breaks through though next weekend, turning us wet and windy, and then we move through into the extended range of ensemble member number 7. Heights appear to be rising to the north. The jet stream is starting to sink southwards. This is in line with the operational GFS run, I think. So heights are rising across Scandinavia and also close to Iceland as we're running up towards Christmas. Winds are turning into the east. They aren't desperately cold easterly winds, but they certainly are turning into the east there, and that's how we look as we get to Christmas Eve with high pressure centred somewhere close to Iceland. Real cold northerly winds are pushing down through Scandinavia, and we finish up on Christmas Day with that high pressure over top of the country. That would at least be a seasonable Christmas. It would be cold and frosty with that, and very close actually to pulling in some very cold air from the north or the northeast. Ensemble member number 8 with high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure out to the west of the country on Thursday. This one appears to be blocking more strongly, so here we go into the weekend, and the Atlantic is still struggling against that Scandinavian high. Eventually we do break the Atlantic through as we get through to the end of next weekend with turning the winds into the west, and then we keep these low pressures pushing in across the country up to day 10. And then on the run up to Christmas with ensemble member number 8, we turn things very unsettled. Again, that's a proper gale force wind pushing down on Christmas Eve from the northwest. Quite cold as well with that one. The winds are in from the north. Probably just a cold snap, but that does suggest a cold Christmas Day, and there will probably be snow showers anyway up in the north. Ensemble member number 9 with high pressure over Scandinavia blocking the Atlantic on Thursday. That low pressure quickly breaks through though Friday and into the weekend. There's that gale again across England and Wales on Sunday. Moving up towards day 10, we find that the jet stream is moving southwards. Heights are trying to rise up to the north. We remain generally in a mild west-southwesterly flow there up to day 10. Let's see what happens as we get towards Christmas. So, well, we have a go at building some high pressure to our northeast, but generally this is keeping things mild and Atlantic driven up to Christmas Day, with the winds continuing to push in from off the Atlantic. That's ensemble member number 10. We're halfway through. We've got high pressure over Scandinavia blocking that low pressure on Thursday. Low pressure is breaking through to some degree as we go through to the weekend. Bit of a struggle, but eventually it gets the wind into the west. It's a strong wind as well next weekend. Then moving up towards day 10, and heights are generally trying to rise both to the south and to the east of the country. This one is keeping things pretty flat though as we get towards Christmas, so we're keeping mild winds coming in from off the Atlantic. In fact, potentially very mild there with ensemble member number 10 by Christmas Day. That is number 11, ensemble number 11, with the high pressure over Scandinavia on Thursday, blocking the Atlantic. So again, we've got this idea of a southerly tracking low there, a channel low, almost over North France, really, bringing gale force winds across southern parts of England and Wales, and probably heavy rain, maybe a little bit of sleet or snow on the leading edge. We get to next weekend, and then the next low pressure comes in further north, and so that does manage to break the Scandinavian high down and turns the winds into the west. Let's see if we can get to day 10 and beyond. So this one starts to raise heights over Scandinavia again, so very close to another battle as we're heading up towards Christmas. That's how we look as we get to Christmas Day. A bit in between there. We are trying to pull down cold air from the north, and for the north it could probably be quite cold, but for the south it would probably be fairly mild. This one is ensemble member number 12. Again, the high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure is out to the west as we go into the weekend. It turns rather stormy, and then we go into the more extended range running up towards Christmas, and we start to raise heights to our south, at least for a while, bring some very mild air up, although by the time you get through to Christmas Day, winds again are trying to turn into the north, and we are on the verge of a cold snap by Christmas Day. Ensemble member number 13, looking like that, so again, very stormy next weekend. That is being highlighted very well by all of these ensemble members, the chances of severe gales next weekend. We go up to day 10, that's how we look, high pressure building to the southwest then, and then we go into the extended range running up towards Christmas, and we just keep the wind from the west up to Christmas Day, so that one is a milder ensemble member. Not much support for what the operational run was just showing so far, I have to say. So this ensemble member number 14, a little bit stronger with that Scandinavian high on Thursday, and even into weekend, the low pressure off the Atlantic is struggling to get in. Eventually does turns the wind into the west. With this ensemble member, we run up towards day 10, keeping things very unsettled for the run up towards Christmas. And we get to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, that's how we look. So that one's trying to pull down colder air from the north with a bit of a cold snap. Ensemble member number 15 shows, again, high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure being blocked out to west. Again, a little bit stronger with that high pressure over Scandinavia with this ensemble member. So even as we go through to weekend, the low pressure is struggling. This is Friday. Low pressure really struggling to get in from off the Atlantic. That's next weekend. So there's that severe gale, this time focused on England and Wales, and finally breaking the Scandinavian high down. We get a little bit beyond day 10 and start running up towards Christmas. That's how we're looking, very unsettled, low pressure dominating from off the Atlantic. So that is an unsettled and relatively mild situation up to Christmas Day. That is ensemble member number 16. Again, we've got the high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure breaking through over the weekend and bringing that strong wind. And then we get up towards day 10, and low pressure just keeps coming. It keeps spiraling in from off the Atlantic. We're heading to Christmas, looking mild. Winds are from the west. That one is a mild Christmas as well. This is ensemble member number 17. Again, a little bit closer with the low pressure this time on Thursday. So there are vast differences in the placement of the Scandinavian high and low pressure as early as Thursday. It remains very uncertain what's going to happen in the second half of the week. Next weekend, all ensemble members want to break the Atlantic through and turn the winds into the west, and then we move up towards Christmas. We get to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and we keep things generally quite mild with westerly winds with that one. Ensemble member number 18, with again the high pressure over Scandinavia, blocking those areas of low pressure in the Atlantic, and then the Atlantic breaks through though next weekend. We go up towards day 10, and we try to keep things pretty cold actually up to day 10. It's low pressure clearing away to the east, and the wind is staying from a northerly direction with that one. Then we're moving up towards Christmas, and again low pressure continues to break through from off the Atlantic, but still an influence from the Scandinavian high with this one. That's how we look on Christmas Day. Still there, that Scandinavian high, and low pressure is still trying to come in from off the Atlantic. So we finish up basically where we start with that one. Still, the battle goes on up to Christmas. This is number 19, again, ensemble member number 19, with that Scandinavian high. A little bit stronger on Thursday than some of the ensemble members, but the Atlantic breaks through as we get through to the weekend. We have that very unsettled, stormy spell over next weekend. More severe gales there on Monday the 17th, and then we go up to day 10. Gradually the low pressure is losing its influence, and we're starting to raise heights to the north with this one as the low pressure is sinking south. So that's how we finish up as we get to Christmas Day. Quite an interesting chart. We've got high pressure over Greenland there, with low pressure over top of the UK. We're trying to pull down cold air into that low pressure. So that one hints at the possibility of being cold by Christmas. And then we've finally got ensemble member number 20, with again the high pressure over Scandinavia, with low pressure out to the west. And then we take this low pressure on a more southerly track as we get through to Friday, bringing heavy rain to England and Wales, possibly some snow on the northern edge across northern parts of England. Then next weekend, wet and windy and milder, with those southwesterly winds breaking through. We move up towards Christmas and we find high pressure building across the UK. So that's turning things dry. Just turning things dry, and there will be frost and fog with that, so it will feel seasonable, but nothing particularly doing in terms of snow, because it's just anticyclonic, so it'll be loads of dry weather, but it will be quite cold and frosty. Then finally, we've got the parallel run of the GFS. So this will become the operational run of the GFS next year. At the moment, they are running this upgraded version in parallel, trying to iron out any problems that might be occurring with this new GFS run. So we start on Friday. Again, low pressure is struggling to get in from off the Atlantic at the end of the week, but eventually it does break through. So we go into that gale as we go into next weekend. We start running up towards Christmas, keeping low pressure spinning in from off the Atlantic, very unsettled with this one, and we get to Christmas Day. That's how we look. So we're in a westerly wind. It would be relatively mild for the south, a little bit colder for the north. Winds coming off Greenland, so probably cold enough for some wintry showers for northern parts of the country. In the south, probably relatively mild with winds from the west. But last thing I'll show you, just see if it's updated yet, is the ensemble graph. So that's how the ensembles were looking for the 6 o'clock run of the GFS for London. Let's see if it's updated for the midday run, and no, it hasn't, so that didn't work out very well. So we will forget that and we'll wrap the video up. So basically, there's a lot of uncertainty for the end of this week, how quickly the low pressure breaks in against that Scandinavian high. You tell you that other models have shifted more towards the Scandinavian high as well tonight. The UK Met, the GM Canadian model. I'm not sure about the ECMs, that's updating right now, but certainly some of the other models have shifted a little bit more towards the Scandinavian high, dominating for the end of this week. GFS is still generally very keen. Its ensemble still very keen to break the Atlantic through, but it's more next weekend, I think, that happens rather than Thursday, Friday. So Thursday, Friday, we've still got this climactic battle going on between the high pressure over Scandinavia and the low pressure in the Atlantic. Nearly all ensemble members, in fact, all ensemble members do eventually break the Atlantic through by next weekend. We're going to quite a stormy spell, severe gales possible next weekend. And then running up towards Christmas, we've got the operational GFS setting up quite a cold pattern, but with very little support at the moment within the GFS ensembles, with its ensembles, if you like. Most of those ensemble members were suggesting relatively mildish conditions, or a cold snap potentially, just a fleeting sort of northerly somewhere around Christmas, but none of them, or very few of them, were suggesting the chance of a genuine a genuine sort of cold spell setting up for Christmas, like the operational GFS run is showing. So that all looks rather dubious as well. And I don't think we've got things sorted out for the end of this week anyway at the moment. So anything beyond that, obviously, is going to be subject to vast changes until we sort things out for Thursday, Friday, and then next weekend. Till we get that sorted out, I think everything else is going to be subject to a lot of uncertainty. Right, so that's your Ensemble Watch. Don't forget to check out today's first video update. Tomorrow, I think we've got another Christmas update penciled in for tomorrow. We're up to update number 18 in terms of Christmas updates. There'll be a week to 10-day video update as well. I'm hoping to get the verification for the autumn forecast tomorrow, but I know some of you are waiting for it. If it isn't tomorrow, it will be one day this week. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.